Hi, my name is Sam Marchuk with West Music, and I'm here to show you how to change ukulele strings. The first thing you need to do is to determine what type of bridge that you're using, to determine what kind of knot that you're going to use to connect the string. Two of the most common are going to be a slotted bridge and also a tie bar bridge. A slotted bridge is shown here. It has a slot through the actual bridge on the bottom, and what you're going to do is tie a ball and knot on the string and to connect it to the bridge. Now the tie bar bridge is going to have a hole through the bridge, and what you're going to do is wrap the string around it and then tie a knot and secure it in place. With a slotted bridge, what we need to do is to create a ball and knot on that. I'm going to show you what type of knot to use. A lot of people will use just a standard square knot, which usually is not large enough, especially on the thinner strings, on the end, the G and the A string. So typically what you want to use is a figure 8 knot, which will have a much larger knot and keep it more secure in place. To do that type of knot, what we need to do is, and I've got a representation of the slotted bridge here, and some rope in a larger scale, so it's easy to see and also to go through. So what we need to do is to take the string and form a U shape, cross over on the bottom, and then cross over the bottom piece, bring it down and around to form this figure 8 shape. So again, we're going to form this U shape. We're going to cross it over on the large piece of string, and then bring the tail back over, and then under and through that loop to form that. You notice how much larger the figure 8 knot is. Once that's tied and secured, you'll tighten it up in place and slip it right into the bridge, into the slotted part, and that's what's going to hold that in place. Next we have another very common, it's the tie bar bridge. Now this bridge has an actual hole cut through the block, and the string goes through, wraps around, and then ties and secures in place. I've got a larger model shown here so it's easier to view and also to tie here. So for that type of knot, what we're going to do is we're going to take the string and put clearly through that the bridge. And we're going to bring enough so we've got a lot of tail and slack there to tie it around. Then what you're going to do is bring it back up and under the string, and then back up and over the top of the string and through once, and then a second time twice, and then tighten that into place. Do that one more time. So once after it's through, we're going to bring the string back up and under and across itself here. Bring it back around and loop again through, and then one more time. So 2 times is going to wrap under and through that, and then tighten in place. Now, one of the most important parts of tying this type of knot is to not have this string on top of the bridge resting here, because then it'll squinch and kind of go through the top here and can loosen and come off. So the best thing to do about this is to take the tail end and put it so that it is behind the block here. So the string is going to be pulling from this angle, but you want this the end of the string locked up against the back part of the block. That way, when the more tension that is brought onto the string, it is going to actually tighten and keep that more securely in place. So I have a tie bar bridge here, and I'll do the same demonstration on that. We're going to go through the bridge here, and we're going to go underneath. And through once, and through a second time. Now you notice on this with the other strings, a lot of manufacturers will do is will take the tail end and actually also put that in through the back of the block so that they're secure in place. You don't need to do that. That is optional. That may have a cleaner look that route. So it's an option. You can do it either way, with or without putting that through. Any excess string that you have on the bottom of the bridge here, you can cut off, but I will leave at least a quarter inch there for slack for when it tightens. We're not going to use the full length of the string, but we want to start by putting the tip of the string through the peg hole here. So we're going to do that and then pull almost all the slack out. And because we're not using all the string length, we want to back it out so there's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches of slack used. So we're only going to use about this much. And the reason is the string is going to stretch quite a bit, so it'll lengthen as you tune it up. And you don't want to have too many wrappings because it'll make it sloppy and a lot more work getting it accomplished. So we've got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the top here of slack that we're going to wrap around the string with the tuning peg. And we're going to start winding that. Now, what you want to do first though is to cinch the string and form a little crimp in that. So it's going to help keep it in place. So there's a crimp on that. You can identify that. And then you notice I'm keeping tension on the string itself. That way, when I start winding it, it's going to keep a nice tight fit with each successive wrap. You'll also notice here that you want to check out your ukulele to make sure that you're following the same pattern that the previous strings were rested on. You'll see these two strings are coming from the inside panel down through the nut here, whereas this side of the strings with the G and C notes strings are going to have from this side. So make sure you match up with the previous configuration you had. Okay, from there we're going to start wrapping up here. Now you notice the pegs are meant to have some kind of gear ratio in that. So each turn that you're doing with the gear, you're only doing an incremental turn of the peg. So to help expedite that process, I like to use a string winder. A lot of different types of these available, but this helps to quickly wrap that in place. So this gets me a lot more wraps at a much quicker pace. So notice I'm still keeping the tension on the string, and I'm wrapping this in place. I'll be able to keep tension by holding my fingers and just angling them. Keep each successive wrapping. Which you also want each wrapping to get closer and closer to the headstock. And the reason for that is if you're going from the closer to the wood to the top of it, the string is going to be too high and it's not going to form any tension on this nut here. And that could create it from buzzing and flapping, so not having a proper tension, which is one of the reasons why you'll see an angled neck on most stringed instruments like this. You want to create that tension at the nut so that it applies pressure and keeps it in place. Okay, so tune this Okay, so you'll see each successive winding is getting closer to the headstock, and we're starting to get close to pitch. So do that for each one of the 4 strings, and you'll be ready to go. You want to be sure to watch my other video of how to break in new ukulele strings. As I mentioned earlier, the string stretch a lot more than you think, so make sure you take the time in front to get the string settled in. Otherwise, you're going to play a chord and it's going to drop out of tune and tune it back up, drop out of tune. So it helps to help expedite that process right in front. All right, great. Thanks for watching.